Welcome back to Geekshow Helpdesk.
We are so back, baby. Let's go.
That's right.
Meet us.
Hey, happy to be here.
There's the
All right.
energy. There's
That's right.
Jaron.
He's here. Let's go ahead and introduce our panelists. First of all, we are the Geekshow Helpdesk, and this is a podcast where we talk about tech, gadgets, and science-related things.
We take 1 week off and Tony falls apart.
I don't know what you're talking about. That sounded great.
You
Transition
stumbled through that
perfectly.
so hard.
Transition perfectly.
Oh no, man.
He's Judgy McJudgerson. He's Lando.
Hey, I'm Judgy McJudgerson. I'm Lando. I'm happy to be here. I missed you guys last week. I would have much rather have been here than where I was at. But here, we're back, and I'm just happy to be here. That's all. I'm Lando.
All right.
Join the Patreon.
Hey, look at who's up top today. It's Owen.
It's me. I'm gonna put a random song lyric in my title here every week, and you guys have to guess the song.
Alanis
You could
Morissette.
be my someone. You could be my scene.
He got it. He got it. So
I can't remember the
fast.
song. I can sing it. I can't remember what it's called, though. I forgot it.
That is Hoobastank. Isn't it?
Anybody else?
No, is it not Hoobastank? Now I got to think about it.
If I could highlight and copy that text, I would know the answer.
In the
by now.
meantime, here's Jaron.
Hi, I am
So close.
Jaron, and you can find me on Blue Sky at Jeronius.
Jaron.best?
That,
Jonas.
I think that works too. I think it's still pointed somehow.
Still somehow alive.
Yep,
Good.
All right.
and I'm gonna pre-order a Switch tomorrow. Woo!
I'm going to try.
What's
Yeah.
the cost? What's the cost on
$4.50.
pre-order?
500.
Well, for the Mario
$500.
Kart bundle.
Well,
Why
who
would you
wouldn't
not get the
who-
Mario
yeah,
Kart?
Why would you
exactly.
not?
You're
You'd
going to
save
get Mario
30
Kart
bucks on a
anyway.
Mario
Save
Kart.
$30 on it. You know?
That's a good point.
It's literally the system seller.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
But, so you get the game for free almost if you buy the bundle?
No, you save $30 in the
No.
game.
Pay 50,
Oh, you save
50 bucks.
Well, don't you want to buy the digital version? Anyway,
It only
our
is
host.
digital
Our
right
host. Hey, host. Are you gonna buy the bundle?
now. Oh, I'm going to try.
All right, he's our host.
At Quad T on Blue Sky or on other Geek Show podcasts. Is
Thanks,
it Puddle
host.
of Mud, Owen?
Puddle of mud.
Oh,
Blurry.
puddle of mud with
Blurry.
two D's. I forgot about
Puddle
that.
of mud. Which, when you said Hoobastank, I was like, I mean, they're basically.
It's the
I
right
feel like-
era. It's the
Yeah.
right era of
When you
popularity
said-
for those
when
two
you said
bands.
Hoobastank, you back in the day, you couldn't tell the difference between the two.
It's true.
And that's why 20 years later, you're like, weren't they the
this
same
one?
band?
Well, this one.
20 years?
Was that Stone Temple Pilots?
Hey, no, I never confuse Stone Temple Pilots.
Or was that Pearl Jam? Or was
Smashing
that
Pumpkins?
Yeah, come on now.
Puddle of Mud, Hoobastank, Creed, Nickelback.
Savage Garden?
No.
Oh, I love Savage Garden.
I'm
I
feeling
did.
nostalgic
Dang it, I
now,
did.
fellas.
Chicka
Nostalgic.
Cola. Anyway.
All right.
Man, I loved that song.
It was a
me
good
too.
song. It is still a good song.
Yeah, it's not was. It still is. Hey, do we have any emails?
Yeah, we do.
All right. Do they have to do with old popular songs from the late 90s, early aughts? that
Boy,
we could talk
do
about
I hope
some more?
so.
But they have to do with old popular stories of ours.
Oh, I didn't know we had any of those.
Well, James, not us.
Ah.
Got an email from Chad. To whom it may concern, please consider this my official request to hear the James poop story again. I feel like
Ugh.
it's the least you can do since we won't be getting a podcast next week from either the Helpdesk or the arcade. Thanks, Chad.
By next
I
week,
s-
you meant last week.
Yes.
I spent the free time scrubbing and parsing all of the episodes that I could find on the YouTubes because there's in Tony's storage there is a
We have a
odd
couple
gap
of weird gaps for some
Yeah.
reason. I must have
And
just
so-
forgot to back it up from computer
like
to
a
computer.
computer,
So I've had
yeah.
like 3 builds since then. So
Yeah. So there is an odd couple of holes in the official backup. So I thought, oh yeah, we put all those episodes up on the old
Jim did.
YouTubes.
He put up like our first
Yeah.
5 seasons.
four seasons, and then
4
like
seasons.
a couple of episodes of the 5th season. And so I spent all the time, and you can see I created like a 1.5 megabyte Word document, which is pretty big when you
It's
think
a lot
about
of
it.
words.
And did not find any poop story in there. I think it was in one of our after scene recordings that we used to push out on episodes, and it got clipped off for YouTube because it wasn't very safe for work, maybe, or
Or it might have just been after we got done recording. James
Yeah.
says, I got a story for you.
yeah,
Or
so
before we recorded. I don't know. But it's too bad. Lost
Yeah.
to the ages. Or
Lost
as
to
they
the ages.
say in Blade Runner, lost in time.
Yep.
Like tears,
Tears
in
in
rain.
rain.
maybe one day we can talk James into a retelling, but yeah. So there's the answered email. I
Bummer.
I did try.
Yep.
It's a
I
sad
put
end to the
hours.
story.
I put hours of effort into it. Just want you to know,
And
There you
for
go.
Owen, that's like 50 hours.
buddy. You don't know how I had to take all the Ritalin.
Yeah.
It was hyper focus day.
Got another email from Johnny. He says, I just wanted to say I welcome the political talk. These are tough times, and it's nice to hear people to be open and honest about the bull crap. He didn't say crap. Happening in the world. Some podcasts, you can tell, hold back more than others, and I appreciate you guys have chosen to be honest with your listeners. Also, I want to call out, I was the first Johnny listener that wrote in that I'm aware of. So take that, other Johnny.
Hey,
Johnny listener, thanks for
I like
writing
the shade.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Johnny on Johnny shade.
Johnny, is he? So I want to make a Johnny 5 joke, but it's Johnny Prime. We'll call him Johnny Prime.
I like Johnny Prime. That's a good
Go
moniker.
go change your Patreon name if you're a patron.
Or just sign everything Johnny Prime from now
Johnny
on.
Prime
Yeah.
Well,
or
thanks,
Johnny 5 nostalgia.
Thanks, Johnny. I myself, I don't want to
disassemble.
like dwell on it, but I'm not gonna change my opinion.
Me and Jaron are avoiders. Officially, the only news that we get politically is from Landon and Quad T here, Mr.
We're here for you.
Tony, and
I have to know what's going on. I just
you
have
don't.
to.
Put your head in the sand
Nope.
and
Nope.
try to be happy.
I haven't gone as far as you, Jaron, with that, but I have stopped listening to NPR. Just not because of any of their content, just because I can't handle the anxiety. But my brain to compensate has just increased doom scrolling. So
To be fair,
Tomato.
I watched less last week tonight with John Oliver than I used
Man,
to
he's
because I
so
get so
good,
mad
though.
every episode.
it's so
now.
enraging. I know that
But it's
he's
so
peddling.
good.
He's peddling. You know, most news stations are peddling rage and outrage.
Yeah.
He peddles righteous indignation.
Yes,
And it's a different flavor, and
It's a
it
different
is
flavor,
so
And
good.
it's got such good comedy sprinkled in and out.
It's really, really smart comedy. Like
Yeah.
it's
If you haven't-
it's good comedy.
It's on
If you haven't-
YouTube. It's on.
Yeah,
it's on
it's
like
so
the
good.
day after it airs on HBO. They put it up on YouTube.
If you haven't seen the episode where he creates a debt collection company and buys debts for pennies on the dollar, and then just
forgives them,
forgives them for no reason,
or the time
what a
he
great
tried to offer Clarence Thomas an RV and a salary of like $250,000 a year to step down from the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
like a legitimate offer.
Yeah.
Contracts drawn up and everything.
Yeah. Oh, he is fantastic.
All right,
And
got
when
another email from Daniel, a.k.a. Hexorcist, a.k.a. Interrupting Cow.
Moo.
He says, question for my friends. Oh, I was going to write an email, but then I was told that only Lang sends emails now. Oh, well.
Well,
Thanks for your email.
good try. It was a good try there. Maybe
I'm
you'll get
immune.
her next time.
I'm immune.
Good try.
All right.
Okay, one last email from Argo Spartan. He says, hello, podcast crew, and the guy who likes the Padres for some
That's
reason.
me.
This is a
Those are the
arcade
best.
one, I think.
They're doing
Could
great.
use the panel's insight on how best to guide my father on a new gaming laptop purchase. The top of his budget is $1,500, and he plays games that aren't too graphic heavy or intense.
Should
His
this be an
current
arcade
fave-
question?
Didn't I say that?
You
I
know
thought I
what?
said that.
I think you're right. Let's save this for
It's
arcade.
gaming laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Argo Spartan, listen to arcade.
Yep. We'll answer that question there. And
That's
I
it.
got
Except for read the very bottom. I like where it says PS Go Dodgers. Anyway, moving on.
and he'll get to read it in arcade as well.
Yeah.
No.
Double dose.
Frickin'
I just
Darren, you
wanted to
trying to
bring Lando-
sneeze? Oh, he
Yeah.
sneezed.
I didn't sneeze. I muted. See?
He sneezed whilst muted. All right. No more emails? One more email?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Thanks for writing in, everybody. Lang, actually. Just only Lang. Lang's the only one that wrote in. Thank you for writing
You guys
in,
should
Lang.
all just sign in. You should all just sign your emails Lang. Except for Johnny. That needs to be Johnny Prime.
Johnny Prime.
We've It has
All right.
been outspoken.
Politics. Let's talk politics.
Oh man, do we have to?
Right out of the gate.
Yeah, let's just get it over.
I
This
had a
is
story about the
painful,
tariff updates, and then he updated them again. So I put a new story about the tariff updates, and then he updated them again. And so,
what are we at?
What's
145?
happening?
Are we at 145 now
who knows?
on China?
Apparently, he's backing down at this point somewhat.
Cell phones, some other
And,
stuff.
Everything. It's just you never know. It's a different thing every day. Every
What a
day,
mess.
or
You wanna-
every other
you
day,
wanna
he's
hear-
just like, I'm going to do this tariff. No, I'm not going to do that much tariff, but I'm going to do this one over here.
Yeah, that's not how you run an organization, guys. I'm
Let
sorry.
alone the dominant country in the world trade-wise.
Yeah,
Previously
and here's some of the best clapback
We are right
from
now.
that.
We might not be by the time he's done with us.
No, we won't.
TikTok, the progenitor of all conspiracy and fear in the
Can
U.S.
confirm.
Political system. They went. Every Chinese manufacturer out there basically blew the top off of all these premier glam, like the glamour, vanity, whatever they are. They're like Dolce and Gabbana and Nike and like.
Talking about.
I'm telling you, all the manufacturers went, we'll give these, all the Chinese, you should have seen it. TikTok was insane. All the Chinese manufacturers said, we have these for $30. A $3,000 handbag by, what's the, one of the,
Dolce & Gabbana,
no, the other, Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton was $300. And they were like, listen, the name brand that you're putting on these are the exact ones. These aren't knockoffs. They just don't have the tab on the badge on them. And laundry pods was another one where you're paying $16 or $15 or $16 at the store for a thing of laundry pods, $1 to $3. And they were like, come to our site, buy direct. Every single manufacturer in China was like, come to our website and buy direct. And analysts started freaking out and saying, no. You then become the importer of the destination importer or something like that, importer of.
Right, but even still,
And
if
so
I'm
you are in
saving-
so you have to pay the tariffs, but like even with, well, they were at the time like 80 or 125% tariffs at $3, that's $8. You're still getting it for 50%
still getting it for half
off for laundry pods and stuff like that. So if you haven't yet and you want to go see something that is disturbing, and I haven't done it, by the way, because I'm too terrified about the taxes and tariffs and all that.
You know what? For science, Owen, you must do this for science.
I can't. I don't need that in my life. I don't need any type of.
So you're just believing
Scrupulous.
these rando.
That's kind of what it
TikToks.
sounds like.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not believing them. They're legit. I went to some of the
How do
websites.
you
They're
know?
legit.
What?
They're legit. It sounds like
Yeah,
you're believing them.
No, I went to some of the websites. They're not rando TikTok people.
And here's the thing:
They're
no, just-
legitimate businesses. They have a Chinese website, and you Google Translate them, and
But
you
how-
can put.
But
Yeah,
how do we know that they're exactly the same thing, though?
So Owen, just
Because
with the
you
internet, it's
can't
crazy.
know.
Not just anybody can post anything they want. It's
No,
all
I know
kept,
that.
and like
No, I know.
websites
I know.
are always real.
So
Wait a
here's
minute.
here's my thing.
Feeling
Here's
some
my thing.
sarcasm.
No, there is some sarcasm there. I wasn't getting at that, and I'm not saying that I fell for these or I'm buying any of them. My point is, if you want to go see something truly hilarious, go see these manufacturers that are trying to do this, that have never done any type of advertising, because they've always relied on just selling to U.S. markets, right? Like they just export to U.S. markets. They don't go direct to consumers. They always go to Tide. They always go to Amazon, whoever. And to see these business owners trying to stand up these TikToks and do advertising and marketing to come get you to their site, it's simultaneously terrifying and amusing at the same time, because they're like broken English and they have wild blue hair or green hair, and it's like the owner of the company, like it's like it's just some guy in the company. They don't have a marketing team because they just sell direct. They just sell to manufacturers here in the US. So it's quite funny.
This feels a little
It's like
scammy,
backdoor
Owen.
deals.
It's super
Backdoor
scammy.
deals.
It's super scammy. My question is the same as many people on the app that started coming up. I'm not going to do this, but I need to know if it's real. Because if you could get these things for half off, one guy was like, okay, I want to know where the Milwaukee like parts are, like where the Milwaukee electric impact guns and stuff are like
Tools.
tools. Where's the tools at?
All
Never came
right.
up.
Well,
What
Sorry,
what
that
a
was-
rant.
Donald
I'm sorry.
Trump said today
I'm sorry.
Chinese
I totally apologize.
tariffs on Chinese imports will come down substantially from the current rate of 145%. Quote, it won't be that high. Not going to be that high. He told an
I
Oval
hate
Office
that guy.
press conference on Tuesday, which is today, local time. Mr. Trump believes a tariff deal with China could happen pretty quickly, adding he isn't going to play hardball during negotiations.
Soft.
Play ball.
Those were quotes.
Play
It's on
anything
soft.
play anything but t-ball, my guy. Like you're
Quote,
playing.
They're going to do very well, and I think they're going to be happy. We're going to live together very happily and ideally work together. So
This
I
was
think
just
it's
gonna
going to work
happen.
out very well.
He's going to drop our tariffs. China will drop theirs, and he'll see, China isn't charging us any tariffs anymore.
how
So
good I
much
did?
winning.
See how good I did?
China's not gonna. China's not. I think
So,
China's
anyway,
not going back.
in the week between now and next episode, we'll see how many times that changes, and we will report on electronics and their tariffs at that time.
I hope I get my
Speaking-
retirement back.
Yeah.
No.
Well, good luck with
No.
that.
Yeah.
I
good
just
luck
saw mine. I've been too scared to look for a while. Then
Oh, I look
the other
every day.
went,
I
know.
look-
I refuse to look.
I look
I
every day
look,
and I just
yeah.
go,
It's
so bad.
It's tragic.
it
okay?
is. It's bad.
Also, let's just get the Hegseth one out of the way then too. Let's
Yep.
just get all the
Hit it.
politics. Just I didn't put that in here. I don't know. I think that's your
I
story,
have
Tony.
my story's a politic
Which
one,
one?
too, kind of.
The Hegseth, really? Again, really?
Oh, yeah. PX said, okay.
Oh, that's right. He did the
All
thing
right.
again. 0
Hey, stop
days
me.
since
Stop
late
me if
signal
you've-
chats.
Stop me
I
if
can't
if
believe
you've
it.
heard this one before.
Okay, I'm gonna
Pete
stop you right
Hegseth
there.
talking about classified information or secret military plans on Signal again,
On a signal,
Again!
and now it's been
With-
revealed that his family's in there.
with not even like government people, just with
Yep.
his family and friends on
Yep.
Signal.
Real stuff. If he doesn't get like Trump has been shielding him
Could you
out
imagine?
of pride and ego, and if he doesn't fire him at this point,
Could you imagine if a Democrat
oh,
politician had done this during the Biden administration?
Oh, my God.
How the
And they
right
even-
side would have come unglued on
Unglued.
him?
And then-
Unglued.
and then if the president protected him like that,
Yeah.
they would
Oh,
have.
yeah.
Impeachment immediately. This is the worst
Democrats
thing that ever
would have
happened.
impeached the Democrat, like
But-
the other side would have impeached their own person.
The
But
thing is right now there's just so much going on that this is just another thing to add to the pile. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
flood the zone,
flood
right?
the zone, exactly.
Yep.
So anyway,
I have heard. I was on Reuters. I haven't looked at the article, so don't quote me. But there is big pressure inside the White House and the Pentagon to get rid of him.
Did you
So
see this
it
on
turns out,
TikTok
Owen,
again?
Here's the thing,
No.
Owen. It turns out that hiring an
I'd have to
Fox
find the article.
News
It
anchor
was
to
a
be
headline
Secretary
in
of
my Google
Defense
newsfeed.
is a bad freaking idea.
Is that what
No.
Hegseth did before this?
Yeah.
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 I can never remember because there were
Fox
so many
News anchor
so many
was his credentials.
so many
Yeah.
appointees that I saw at the beginning of his term that I'm just like
Oh,
my head was spinning because so many of them were just like
unqualified.
unqualified random people. It felt like
We have the
Unqualified.
WWE person at the head of the education. Like, what?
Dude, we got the brainworm bear dumping guy,
in charge of the
anti-vaxxer running the
Autism's a disease
our
and
health
epidemic,
department.
Owen.
our health
And
department.
sarcasm.
You know what's funny is that I saw another headline. Autism rates have been slightly elevated since RFK joined, and people are like, "What about that?"
What about that RFK?
You know, like
The
you
thi-
know,
and
like
the-
the
well, and
eggs
the
are
thing
egg
about
prices.
The thing about him is if he wasn't into this fringe stuff, some of what he has to say is actually pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay with getting rid of artificial dyes in candy and stuff like that. If we
Oh,
can
for
get rid of
sure.
that, nothing wrong with that. That's
the
probably a
the
good
science
thing.
is there too. Europe has proven a lot of that stuff already
Yeah,
because they're stricter
exactly.
with their food laws. But I
And
can't
you know, maybe
take the.
eat,
I can't
less,
take
eat
the.
less fast food, eat
Yeah.
healthier. He's a proponent of that, eating
Yeah.
better.
I
which-
just
that's
can't
good.
take. I just can't take that with the jagged part of the pill.
Exactly.
It's also like, hey, it's got razor blades glued on it, but if you look past the razor blades,
It's a pretty good caramel apple.
yeah. So just take a bite, huh?
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's move along to.
So mine's slightly in the
Okay,
political.
hit it.
So
Who's actually an astronaut? Yes, this is a good one.
So, well, last week before, I can't remember now. There was this huge the Blue Origin space flight that does the
It's like
commercial space flights,
Yeah.
Yeah.
quote unquote
Jeff
space
Bezos.
flights, right?
Jeff Bezos company.
Jeff
They took
Bezos
some-
company,
they
right?
Took some. They did a flight, right?
This huge marketing stunt flight of all women, whatever, right? That's not the part here that matters. So they did that whole thing, right? But here's the part that's really kind of funny, right? So up until now, one of their advertising ploys is, "Hey, come fly with us. You too can be an astronaut."
If you pay
Right?
$40 million or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is,
I
right?
think it's 150,000.
Which is actually pretty kind of
No,
cool,
more
right?
than
So
Let me check. I could.
kind of a side
You
note here,
too
my
could be an astronaut.
my kids watch this lady on Netflix. She does a science show, really awesome. Netflix canceled her show. Now she does a YouTube series for science for kids. She's awesome. Love this chick. And she flew.
Pause. $150,000 deposit. They
This is what
don't
I'm
tell
talking
you.
about.
They don't tell you what the actual cost is.
Oh.
Anyway, this lady on YouTube, like, it's been her lifelong dream to be an astronaut, and she got invited on one of these things to be an astronaut, and she made a big YouTube series about it. My kids watched it. It was heart touching. I cried. It was awesome, right? So then the Bezos people, the Blue Origin flight, does this huge marketing thing with all women. And it's like, whatever, fine. If you guys want to do, like, no one cares. Literally, no one cares until the secretary of the FFA or whatever. What's his name? Who's this? Hold on, sorry.
FAA?
FAA steps in. Department of Transportation, Sean Duffy steps in
Oh,
and says,
can't-
"Guess what?
you
They're not
can't
really
identify.
astronauts."
Can't identify.
He can't. You can't identify as.
You
He
can't
wrote on
identify.
X, and I quote: "The latest FFA guidelines on a commercial space astronaut wings program were clear. Crew members who travel into space must have demonstrated activities during flight that were essential to public safety or contributed to human space flight safety. The crew who flew into space this week on an automated flight by Blue Origin were brave and glam, but you cannot identify as an astronaut.
Brave
They
and
do not meet the
glam.
FFA astronaut criteria."
I love this. Identify as an astronaut. Hello, my name is Tony. Pronouns he, him. I identify as an astronaut. like what is
You can't. This is a no homers club.
yeah, exactly.
This is but Homer only a one homer club. Like you
This
passed the Carmen line and you're an astronaut, right?
This reminds me of a clip I saw on Instagram. This girl is reaming out her boyfriend, and she's like, "You're a cheater, you're a cheater," and he's like, "I'm not a cheater. What are you talking about? I slept with one other lady." And she's like, "Exactly." And he's like, "So if I cut someone's hair once, does that make me a barber?" This is kind of the same thing. It's like, if you go to space once, does that make you an astronaut?
Yeah, like,
you have to
I
go
get-
more than once.
I
you have
get-
to do experiments. Like, what is
Yeah,
it?
I do get that. Like I get that side of it where it's like, astronauts just not going. It's not just going to space. Like that. That's
It is.
not.
You have
one
to
of-
actually do some science
You
up
got to
there
do
and
the.
things like
you got to
that.
do
But
the training. You got to go through the gravity training. You got to
But-
do all the stuff. Like
on the same note, who cares?
but
Exactly. That's the point.
The,
is like,
that's the other side
if
of it,
you
right?
get
Like,
into quote unquote space and you want to say that you're an astronaut, who cares?
Yeah,
Why does this even
exactly.
matter?
yeah.
How much did that
What?
astronaut?
Well,
how much did it
'cause-
cost you to identify for an as an astronaut?
think-
Well,
do you think Buzz
$150,000
Aldrin-
down and an unknown amount of money after that.
So,
Or you
so
could
to-
sleep with
to-
the boss, too. That works.
that'll
So
do
to
it.
be fair, there actually has been a pretty long-running debate in the space community about whether or not suborbital space tourists are astronauts or not.
Right. Because this was
Um,
technically suborbital as well, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
they go about 50 meters and come back, or
You know
50
what?
kilometers.
They're
sorry,
not
no, 80
astronauts.
kilometers.
Come on. Let's be real
Um,
here.
I don't care.
Yeah,
That's my stance.
I agree,
I
Jared.
really
I
don't
agree.
care.
I agree. I just don't think that the FAA needs to pipe in and say you can't triple stamp a double stamp.
Yeah.
Like
No take backsies.
you can't.
So it's one of those
Lloyd,
things where
Lloyd,
it's-
can't triple stamp a double stamp.
this Duffy guy is just trying to score political points for no
Yeah.
reason at all, and he
Because
just
it's
comes off
popular.
looking like a
Because there's
douchebag.
a bunch of people raging and it's popular right now, and he wants to get some. I don't know, jump on that, but
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, there
anyway,
you go. Maybe they're astronauts. Maybe they're not.
I
We
can
don't
identify-
care.
I can identify as an astronaut
I want to
if I
argue that there are
want to.
astronauts for my kid's science show lady.
for
So,
sure.
She deserves it. That's her dream.
Okay. Let's see. Well, actually, this kind of dovetails into one of my stories again. I don't mean to keep picking my stories, but it just flows well. There is a Northrop Grumman rocket test site here in Utah.
I
If
know
you're not
this
aware,
one.
it's
Yeah.
up north, kind of by the.
Is this where
this
they
was
test the solid rocket boosters?
Yeah, they test the solid
I've
rocket.
seen that before. It's freaking dope.
It's kind of
You
up,
could
up
see it
north
from
a little
everywhere.
bit.
You could see it from everywhere this last week.
Yeah, it's kind of up north a little bit from Salt Lake, and I'm trying to remember where exactly it is.
Kind of out in the desert, though, right?
Yeah, and they have some really cool stuff there. Like if it's the same one I'm thinking of, it's over at Promontory, I think, and they have like a rocket garden and stuff Promontory. Yep, northwest of Promontory. Anyway, the point is, one of their buildings blew up this last week.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. So don't forget, rockets are dangerous sometimes.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dangerous?
Kablooey.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Can you believe
Turns
it?
out,
I
there's
that
can't.
when you use oxygen and solid rocket fuel.
There was an explosion reported at 7:38 a.m. at Northrop Grumman in Promontory, Utah. Emergency services were at the scene. Nobody was hurt. No fatalities, but there was ongoing investigations at the time of this article when it was written on space.com. And they have a picture of the building that blew up, and it is just the
framework.
skeleton, the frame,
Yeah.
the metal framework of the building standing. Everything else is in tatters. So it was not a small explosion. It is
Can you
crazy.
imagine if you were anywhere close to that?
Oh yeah.
Like there's been some big, you can go search YouTube. There's been some big fertilizer plants that have blown up out in the Midwest.
Beirut 2 years ago?
Beirut
3
was
years ago?
Beirut, that one was devastating because it was so many people.
Real.
Like there was a lot of whatever. That's really, really sad. And there's
Yeah.
some video. You can actually go see these guys out on jet skis that were just like, what's that fire in the city? And then they're more than a mile away and they see the wave,
The shock wave.
compression, the shock wave coming towards them and they jump off into the water.
Yeah.
Anyway, but there's been some fertilizer plant explosions out in the Midwest too. And there's people that are miles away that lose their hearing. Can you imagine if you were anywhere close to this? Where it's just like, if you've ever been next to a big explosion, you never forget it. I have been, and it's not great.
Crazy stuff. All right. Jaron, let's do some of your stories. We haven't touched them yet.
Do the aliens one. It's space related.
Who's alien one? Does Jaron have an
Jaren's.
Jaron has an alien
It's
one?
fourth story on the list. No,
I
like
see.
we didn't discover aliens.
I couldn't see. I thought it said Allens, but that's an I. Okay.
Allens.
We didn't discover Allens.
Yes, we did not discover Allens. There was a story this last week about the James Webb Space Telescope possibly discovering an exoplanet that hosts that is possible of hosting life, and it kind of blew up. There were headlines like a planet could be teeming with life, and scientists reveal what aliens could really look like on exoplanet K2-18b.
It's a really good telescope if it can see the aliens on the surface
seriously.
of that planet.
Can you imagine if they were just like, get out of here?
So the planet K2-18b, it's termed a sub-Neptune. It has a radius about 2.5 times of Earth, 8.6 times more massive. The orbit is also within the inner edge of the star's habitable range. So it could have liquid on its surface. But the main thing that they saw that made people think, oh, we could have alien life here, is it detected, what's it called?
Aliens.
A type of chemical.
Methane
Where
and
is
carbon dioxide, hydrogen.
it? No.
Nitrogen?
No. Just keep naming random things, and I'll
Says
get it
It
eventually.
says a merger,
Titanium.
a hydrogen-rich atmosphere, blah, blah, blah. Initial characterization of its atmosphere suggested it had copious amounts of hydrogen, methane, carbon dioxide.
Here we go. Dimethyl sulfide.
Lacked ammonia and carbon monoxide.
So
What's
they think
dimethyl sulfide?
they could dimethyl sulfide is created by life pretty much. And so when the planet passed in front of the star and light shone through its atmosphere, the James Webb Space Telescope could find the particular wavelength that detects this type of chemical. However, just because it has dimethyl sulfide doesn't mean that there's life. So the reasons for doubt, there's 3 key questions here. Is the planet what we think it is? Is the signal real? Like, are we actually getting correct data?
Yeah.
And is life the only way to produce that signal? We don't know that either.
Yep.
So it could inhabit life, but we just don't know enough for sure.
I don't think we should be looking out there anyway. They're already here. It's clear. We've seen the videos running through New York. What do you call that? Central
Park?
Central Station. What do you call that? New York Times. New York Square. New York Square. New York got it. New
You
York
got it.
Square?
Times Square. See, New York
Nailed
Times. New York Square. Times Square. Got there. Sometimes you just got to follow the trail, Tony. Alien. There are all sorts of.
All over the place.
It's more like bird seed.
Just throwing about.
And that tracks pigeons, New York, birdseed. Anyway,
Keep going, Owen.
what was I saying?
Yeah,
wanna
what are
hear
you
more?
even talking about, man?
No
There's
one
been
knows.
all the. What's the new term for UFOs?
UAWs?
UAEs, unidentified aerial objects. I don't. Anyway. You guys, there's freaking drones. The drones and the aliens.
How long are we going to let Peep Pop go?
I don't
wanna
know,
go see how
guys.
long
I
it can
thought,
go.
I thought for
I'm
sure at
interested
least
where this is going.
I thought for sure at least one other person was informed in the alien situation on this
No.
podcast.
No, tell me more about the alien situation. What's
I'm
going
not
on with the
gonna-
aliens
Yes,
and the
I-
drones?
no.
I'd like to
Hey,
hear
well,
more, please.
I
I'm
don't-
going to
I
give
won't-
Owen a different
I'll give-
topic. Tell us about recycling hard drives, Peep Pop.
That's much better. Yeah, there's no aliens there. No aliens there. We'll talk about
Bummer.
aliens in the in-between, and I'll give you guys the receipts. All right.
Please.
What am I talking about now? I don't know. Oh, recycling hard drives. This is actually pretty neat. Western Digital. These guys. So I was looking at this because I was like, oh, I have lots of hard drives. Can I get money for it? No, I can't. This is mainly for data centers, Google, Microsoft, whatever. But with all these tariffs happening, there's a lot of uncertainty, and necessity is the mother of invention. And so not everything bad has been has coming out of these tariffs and in uncertainty. Western Digital has pushed out a program to recycle and reclaim the rare earth oxides and the rare earth elements that are in these spinning HDD drives. Now you could, SSDs, sorry, NVMEs and all those are keying out here in the consumer market, desktops, laptops, but in data centers,
They still use the
HDDs
spinning.
are still king for price to storage content.
Yep.
So these guys in I want to say, yeah, they're in cahoots with Microsoft, making a deal with them. They are getting I want to find the numbers. They listed the numbers of reclamation. It's something like 80% of the materials are being reclaimed, which is pretty
90. More than
Yeah.
90% reclaim rate for REE, rare earth elements, and 80%
Yeah,
rate
there's-
for all
That's cool.
of the shredded material.
for all the shredded material. So that's a really high reclamation rate. Like, if you're getting 90% of that back, like, that's a huge cost savings. I wonder what the cost ratio is, like how much you have to use to get back, because that's always the big rub with any
Your
type of
break-even
recycling.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, like with any type of recycling, right? You're like, I'm spending more money to
Is this
reclaim
more
this
efficient
material.
than mining it
Yeah,
originally or
I
buying
think-
it from someone
I
that mines?
think with the and I think it is, I don't think it was, but I think now with the uncertainty and with everybody with this whole trade war and everything going on, like, I think that definitely pushes it over the edge cost wise, right? Because I don't think this is probably not a new idea. They've had it on the shelf, but it has probably never been financially viable.
Hasn't
'cause
been a
nobody's-
reason.
Yeah, nobody's doing it out of the goodness of the environment's heart. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, no.
It's
We
cheaper
make
to do
money.
it the
We
other
make
way.
money the other way. So, anyway, it's kind of cool. It's a really high, 95% fewer greenhouse gases than virgin mining of the same materials. So,
That's neat.
I've been
That
saying
is-
for years, and I'm not the only one, obviously, but the amount of e-waste we've produced in the last 40 years, if we could actually just recycle that, it would make a massive difference in how much we need to pull out of the earth
Yeah.
to build the new stuff.
It is so so there's a company here in Utah called TAMS, and they do e-waste recycling. And I've been on site there because we signed up, my company's few jobs ago, we signed up with them, and they like, yeah, you guys can come down and see the warehouse and see us shred these drives. And I just remember seeing these massive dumpsters of just shredded
Stuff.
metal.
Yep.
And I'm like, what do you like try and get any of the stuff back? And they're like, we can't because of security, because of the language in the contracts. Some let them recycle, but a lot of them with secure, they're like, no, it has to be destroyed, shredded, never used again. So
Well, with this technique that they're talking about from Western Digital, that's what they do first is they're going to shred the drives.
yeah, they have to, right?
and
to
then,
separate
and
it.
then they use the different separation techniques to pull the metals out.
Yep.
So cool.
Pretty crazy. Good
Have some
stuff.
more of that. Yeah.
Yep.
Jaren, let's talk about how Google is losing.
Yeah, they're losing their tech monopoly cases left and right here. They might have to be broken up soon. We'll see.
And everyone will finally learn that the only way they actually make money is through selling our data and advertisements.
Yep. So the U.S. Department of Justice won its antitrust case against Google. And this is specifically about operating a monopoly in the advertising technology area.
Well, there you go.
Yep. It says the tech giant's anti-competitive practices in 2 key markets substantially harmed publishers and users on the web. So we'll see what happens. It's not looking good for Google. And in a previous case, which they have also lost, where they might have to sell Chrome, OpenAI is like, well, we'll take them. We're interested in buying Chrome from you.
Come on over.
Can you imagine, though, if OpenAI does get Chrome, they could just take out Google search.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the next update, put in their own search,
Yep.
and Google will literally lose like half of their traffic overnight.
Wow,
Yep.
that'd be crazy.
I wonder if there's stipulations that would go into play if they end up buying Chrome that wouldn't allow them to do that. But it's very curious. It's going to be exciting what happens here, because like all Google has is search revenue
Exactly.
compared to everything else. It's nuts.
Yeah, speaking of OpenAI, they just closed another round of funding, $40 billion round of funding, which brings their current value to about $300 billion for that company, which is wild to think about because they've only been around for what, or I should say they've only been relevant for 2 years, 3 years. Crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
All right. Let's see. This is an interesting article. Twyman also sent me this article, Owen. Speaking of interacting with AI, the cost of being polite.
The cost of being polite. Do you
The
guys
cost?
The
do
cost.
you say please and thank you to ChatGPT?
Oh, I saw this.
I do.
I
s-
do.
you s-
I very much do.
I have worked really hard not to because it
That
helps.
tracks.
I mean, well, I did at first because I just felt compelled to because it's human speech, right? And you're like, can you please do this for me? Thank you. You're like, whatever. But yeah, there was somebody on Twitter said, I wonder how much money OpenAI has lost in electricity costs from people saying please and thank you to their models. And Sam Altman actually responded and said tens of millions of dollars well spent. You never know. And that you never know part's pretty creepy because when they
Yeah.
did a survey in February, the publisher Future, don't know who that is, but and I don't know who they polled or what anyway. I haven't gotten into the polling details, so don't put too much stock in this. But they found that 67% of people who use AI in the U.S. are polite to the chatbot. Nearly 1 out of every 5 respondents of that group, 18%, said they say please and thank you to AI to protect themselves in case of a possible AI uprising.
You never know. Just
That's
like Sam
what
Altman said.
that's what the you never know part comes from, right? The remaining 82% said they were polite simply because it was nice to be that way to anyone, AI or human.
You want to know why I'm nice to the AI? It's because when the machines inevitably take over, I want to be on their good list.
We just said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're one of the
Do you have
67
the baseball game on again?
no. No, there's
you
no baseball
sure?
games. Go check. There's no baseball games there now.
Oh, okay.
No baseball games. I was reading the story.
So Microsoft design director, nameless
screen if you want.
Microsoft design
Do you know why
director.
I say thank you?
Why, Jaron?
So if they ever take over, I'll be on their good list.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, that's what Sam Altman said
Yeah. Huh.
minutes ago.
Never would have thought of that.
So this guy, Curtis Beavers, he's the Microsoft design director. He says there's a functional purpose to being polite. Using polite language sets a tone for the response from AI. In other words, when you're polite to AI, it's likely to respond in kind. I don't want AI to be polite, so we're clear. I want it to be,
Subservient?
give me 15% accuracy. It can get politeness when it can get more accurate. Because let me just tell you what, I've gone back to Google.
Have you? I never left.
It was easier because I thought, whatever. But when you're getting ChatGPT models that are from 2 years ago or a year ago even, you're not getting the most recent information. And what I deal with daily is recent questions, IT questions, systems, programming questions, whatever. So
I'd really like to know Altman's math on this. Tens of millions of dollars. I don't think I buy that.
yeah, so
Because right here it says OpenAI spends $139 million a year on energy costs, and of the interactions between people and ChatGPT, what percentage of those is thank you, and how much work does it actually take for the thing to spit out a "you're welcome"? You know,
Yeah,
that's
it
the
has
thing.
to
It's
do-
not like it has to think very hard to
No.
say "you're welcome."
so any response takes then it takes 10 times more for a ChatGPT response than a Google response. But so they're
No,
saying
Owen. Tony is right.
oh well just
Because
To
Tony
wrap
knows
it-
better than Sam
well
Altman.
here's
No, I
here's-
think he's exaggerating, is what I'm saying.
I think
I
think there's a
absolutely agree that it costs money, 100%.
and I think it's the response, not the words, right? If you bake politeness into your initial response and you phrase it well, hey, can you please do this for me? Blah blah blah, and you say thank you, and it's all in one thing, fine. But when you follow
doesn't
up
make a difference,
with when you follow up with a thank you,
yeah, it responds to that
that's
single thing.
there's a cost there, right?
Right.
Because it has to say
And
who
and
is
I
this?
agree.
Is he asking for anything? Like it's not just a word salad coming back at you. The new models are like, what did he mean by that? What is he inferring? What can I say to him? I want to make him happy. Like they're super bad people pleasers. They need therapy, but anyway, there's more data in here about how much water they kind of switch over in this report to how much water and heat and blah 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 it takes, but
Yeah, that refers to generating a 100-word email,
yeah.
or right there. It takes 40 to 50 milliliters of water to generate a 3-word "you are welcome." So 40 to 50 milliliters of water.
How many mil? Why don't they put that in what is this
Gigawatts.
site? Yeah,
Or
freedom
dollars.
units.
Freedom units. All right. Interesting there. Jaron, let's talk about Intel.
This is hot off the press, actually.
Yeah.
Intel is going to announce plans this week to cut over 20% of its staff.
That sucks.
That's like 20,000 people because they have
That's
like
a lot.
100,000
Yeah.
Oh, my
employees. And don't
Give a
forget,
different
they
link. I'm out of my free Bloomberg reads.
no, that's all I have. I'm sorry. They already laid off quite a bit last year, so I hope you Intel employees are okay.
Me too.
I hope Intel can get its stuff together.
I think they're finally on track to do that, but it's going to take time. Like the
Yeah.
last batch of CPUs they put out weren't that much more performant, but they were much more efficient, which is a good thing too. and I think their GPU market is finally starting to show,
Yeah, it looks decent.
good results. So I hope they figure things out and can keep working on a positive trajectory. All right. Let's see. Let's do. What's the circle
Patreons? Time for Patreons?
that goes
Circle.
on and on?
It's about Blue Sky. Blue Sky is now creating a blue verification check mark.
Oh, how much is that going to cost me if I want it?
I don't know that if that's the thing, and that's what people are upset about. They're like, this is why we came over here. We're not Twitter. But they're doing a blue verification checkbox idea.
It's not paid.
Users, it's not paid. Which did the original
Twitter wasn't paid for originally.
And it was more valid when it wasn't paid,
Yeah,
because
because
you had to go
you
through an
basic-
actual verification
Yes.
process, submit things, then you
Proof
could
that
buy
you
it.
are who you are and that you have the influence that you claim to have.
Yeah.
You're not just
They
followed by a
review
bunch of
your
bots.
account. Yeah, they
Exactly.
review your account. They had anyway. So, Blue Sky will proactively verify notable and authentic accounts. Trust emerges from relationships, communities, and shared contexts. So we're also enabling trusted verifiers, organizations that can directly issue blue checks. So they don't want to do it. They're going to offload it to a trusted company. Quotes. Sorry, I forgot. Trusted company.
Thank you. I was wondering. I'm like, what does that mean?
When you tap on a check, you'll see which organizations have granted verification. So at least it does give you. That's nice, because you can do your own research there to
That's
see
kinda
if
like-
they're.
When
I
you're
like
on a
that.
website and you click on the thingy on the URL bar that tells you who signed the certificate
Yeah,
for the website,
I actually approve of that. I don't. If it becomes paid, which capitalism demands that it must, it will lose its value. But if it was ripped apart by Mr. Musk.
Dingus
Yeah,
Dingus Magoo.
because people were, I don't know, because he wanted to. There's no reason for why he did it.
because he wanted
So-
an additional stream of revenue for
Yeah.
the company that he was tanking.
Yep.
Simple
So
as that.
people are not happy on Blue Sky. The users are some of the users are reacting poorly, arguing against it and voting it down and whatever. But
See, my opinion is it can't be bought and paid for.
yeah, I don't
Like
think it's
Twitter,
as toxic. Yeah, it's not as toxic as Twitter.
and on the other side of that coin is it can't be the Wild West either.
No,
because
right.
the Wild West doesn't allow for
Wild West.
credibility. You know
right.
what I mean?
As soon as that's what I would be looking at. What
So
does
it's
it
got to
take
be somewhere in
become
the
a-
middle.
What does it take? The root of this will land in what does it take to become a trusted verifier?
Yeah. Yep.
Because if you can buy that, then there's no value to this whole system.
Yeah.
If that has to be earned by reputation and whatever, if there's some sort of
Proof
approval
credentials,
process,
et cetera.
something.
Well, they already
Yeah.
kind of have a verification system built in native to Blue
Yeah.
Sky.
Something
You
with the
can-
domain, right?
Yeah, you can have, like, if you work for Microsoft, you can have a Microsoft domain.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And so
Yeah.
if it's Microsoft.com, you know it's Microsoft. So it's
That's a good.
kind of
point, too.
cool. And I think this added verification, I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I don't. I don't think it's a bad
No.
thing either.
If
I
you
think-
can game it like Twitter, then yes, it's a bad thing. But
Yes.
from what they've announced so far, I think it
Yeah.
sounds good.
I think
Yeah.
it'll land on if corporations can buy into that system or not.
Yep.
If a company can.
All right, cool. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for listening and making it this far to the end and the download. Before we go though, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers, patreon.com/helpdeskarcade. If you feel so inclined to make some donations there, Lando's gonna explain what you get.
Yeah. You get access to the super secret Discord channel, which is awesome. You get access to both shows early and ad free with extra content called The In Between. Super duper awesome. I feel like there's something I'm missing.
Get your name read.
Yeah, that's $6 or more.
Oh. Oh yeah, you get access to us. We enslave
Yeah.
Landon into the Discord. So
That's fair. And for $6 or more, you can make Jared say whatever you want. And I've been super proud of the Patreons for doing this. and hopefully they continue and to meet my expectations. So, Jaron, please read them off.
Please continue to meet my expectations.
If not, beatings will commence.
Yeah.
Thank you to David Broshinsky, Interrupting Cow, Aaron Faulkner, Connor Keesaw, and Nintendo, more like Nintendo. Got him.
Oh, roast.
Got him.
1 million years dungeon. Jason Eatman, you're all equally the best, except Lambo. Jaron. Best. Be the 8-year-old. Kyle. Day 109 of waiting for our Christmas cards.
That's pretty good.
Is that accurate? I think that might be accurate.
It's pretty close.
it's
I'm
pretty
working on
close.
those. I'm working on this now.
Oh, you're taking over the responsibility? You're going to bail
Yeah.
out Lando?
Yeah. I'm gonna.
It was a joint failure.
You'll see. You'll see.
Jerry Ga Arimasu. Pieman Graphics, purveyor of fine geeky stickers. Curse Gengar 94. Kesslo, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, in between rating plus 65. Not sure. DP, I want to get stuck in Lang's beard. Oh, yeah. Wesley, Nintendo Switch, too much tariffs. Stuart Lloyd, don't judge a book by its movie. And finally, yes, Owen, we do care.
All right. Well, there you go. Thanks for making it to the end of this here episode and downloading us and telling a friend, because I'm sure you did. But
If you're on a
we're all
road trip, and you've got a captive audience, make them listen.
That's the perfect time to listen.
That's
right
the
there.
perfect time.
Be an end user.
That's right. All right. We'll see you in arcade or the after show or next help desk if you don't want to listen to the other cool stuff. Lando, take us out.
Hey, ChatGPT. Pretty please, will you help me understand what the tariffs are? Thanks in advance. Be an end user.